So I'm not gonna lie, I can be pretty negative whenever I'm talking about anime video games on the channel. I feel like we're in the dark ages of arena fight. And I realized I need to talk good about some sort of game before I end up like the black version of Synthetic Man.
Full of quote unquote elites, little nuggets of wokeness, like Kaya now having a giant brown boyfriend who looks like a Giga Chad in comparison to Link.
I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause.
Not to mention the
He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
I don't want to be on the channel just mad for the sake of being mad. So I went through my old catalog and found this gem. So in honor of the fact that they're actually finally releasing a sequel to this game, one of the most underrated anime games ever, by the way, those that know, I thought I'd talk about Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle. It came out way back when on the PS4, and we didn't realize what we had when it dropped. And at the end of the day, it is an old ass PS4 anime game, so don't get your hopes up too crazy. But in terms of a fan service anime game based on an original IP, this is like the greatest one ever created, bro. And at the end of the day, we have been starved for Attack on Titan games. I can't be the only one wondering where the Attack on Titan games are, but I'm glad Koei Tecmo finally decided to get off their ass and use the IP. Now, if they could only get the license to the actual songs, this shit would be 10 out of 10. But if you never played this game, the best way I could explain the gameplay, kind of like if Spider-Man on the PlayStation mixed with Dynasty Warriors on crack. It's just a unique combat system I've never seen done quite like this in any other game. But to explain it in layman terms, you're basically swinging around from Titan to Titan, cutting napes, different parts of the body, in massive fields, towns, and giant arenas. And I'm aware there's not much competition for this game besides Roblox games, but I can say I've never felt so immersed in the Attack on Titan world, which is crazy to even think you would want to be immersed in this kind of world, but you know what I mean, it's pretty fun. Getting completely swamped and overwhelmed with the amount of Titans on screen is both kind of hilarious, scary, and sad at the same time. It's a fate I wouldn't wish on any man, but now I'm actually good at the game. That never happens to me. And it is kind of surprising the amount of destructible areas and the amount of Titans that can be on screen. Probably why the graphics look like that, but I've always been more of a gameplay over graphics kind of guy. Though the frame rate was really bad on PlayStation 4, 60 frame rate was a godsend. So if the footage looks extremely choppy, this is PS4 footage, just keep that in mind. I won't lie though, the learning curve, it's kind of wide. Can't see a lot of the Gen Alpha kids getting into this game because the controls were kind of crazy at first. But like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably dropped this game just because of the controls. That's just my guess. What helped me was messing around in the settings. I turned off this automatic slow-mo that would happen every time you aim at a Titan. There was this annoying slow-mo. I took it off and things felt way more smooth, way more intuitive. Like, it's definitely a must turn off that particular setting. It was the difference between me dropping the game and 100%ing it. Crazy how one little thing like that can totally change your opinion on a game. But as you get used to the controls and better at the game in general, you're also upgrading your character like an RPG. You can create your own character, getting stronger and faster. You learn different techniques. You also get different types of ODM gear like lightning blades or flame blades that have different effects. You get different types of jetpacks and ODM gear, as well as your character gets their own specific upgrade. Like, as you get more skillful at the game, you also unlock more ability. It is a long, slow grind, I won't lie, but eventually you're able to do things like the Levi spin. You have more aggressive nade cutting techniques. I don't really know how to explain it, but it really impressed me. It's very creative to me, especially considering the fact that I had no expectations going into the game when I first played it. However, I cannot lie. One major flaw with this game is the upgrading system. It's confusing as hell. Honestly, one of the most needlessly confusing upgrade systems I've ever played in a game. I could make a whole video about how confusing this stuff is to me, but I digress. One thing that does make me happy about these games, how they transferred the feeling of the anime into this game. And to make more sense of that, basically how they chose to adapt the anime technique and powers into video game mechanics. I mean, this seems like a no-brainer to fans of anime. With the right company, the right developers, you could make some pretty cool gaming mechanics based off of anime. And I just want to point that out and appreciate that. I mean, mean, you know they really want to turn this into another arena fighter, but they just couldn't. So they had to get creative, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I do gotta emphasize the controls and the skill curve is definitely something that I think will keep people away from this game, and maybe even the new one coming out if they don't deal with that. I'm aware of the fact that it's probably hard to implement a faithful ODM gear system into a game, but I mean, Fortnite did it, so it can't be that hard. Fortnite be making better anime games than anime games, I swear. Anyway, I will say when the controls finally click, it's insanely rewarding. You know what? This is kind of boring. I'm getting too caught up on controls. Let's talk about the story. But let's be so for real. Nobody's playing this game for the story. And if you are, what are you doing with your life? Go watch the anime. I mean, it is cool how this game retells the Attack on Titan story from the perspective of a random ass scout, which is you. You're the random ass scout, which is a nice touch for fans, but not the definitive way you should be watching the story. But that's a given with most anime games. I'd say the cutscenes are fine. Graphics are definitely dated. I mean, you can see the screen, but the art style is definitely there. They tried to recreate that Wit Studio color palette, and I respect it. But I have seen these cutscenes so many times trying to S-rank this game. You have to play the same missions over and over and over again that I skip most. But at least it's not a static image with text, thank God. As far as I'm concerned, these are some of the best cutscenes in anime gaming. The most underrated part of this game is it has multiplayer for both the story and offline modes. There's tons of different modes. You can also create your own scout. The customization options aren't crazy, but they're not bad either. You can change a lot about your character. You can rock any color palette you want, though I don't know why you would disrespect the scouts like that. You can even wear that thing that Levi wears around his neck. What is that, an ascot? I don't know how to pronounce it. And as a black man, I'm sad to inform you there's no black hairstyles. Wait a second, were black people even behind the walls? It's a sad realization when you realize your existence isn't canon in your favorite anime video game. But that don't matter, we're gonna make this Levi-ass bowl cut work. Since only killing Titans as a gameplay loop would get repetitive really quickly, and it kinda does, I won't lie, but half the story takes place in this more slice of life scenario behind the walls. This interaction mode where you talk to all your scout members, it's kinda surprisingly wholesome, and as you progress, you open up different parts of the map. You end up doing favors for the main cast and getting to know them, becoming friends, and stuff like that. You know, I've never played Persona, but I imagine it's something like this, but less scuff. Yeah, it's kind of like Persona at home. There's even a lot of goofy quotes and references to that. Anime. Sasha will ask you to kill Titans in exchange for some meat, because you know she loves meat. There's even a lot of emotes and dances that are ripped directly from the anime, like to the T. The characters will ask you questions, and basically it's a test on how well you know the characters based on the anime and the video game. And it's not just to roleplay. Raising their friendship raises their effectiveness in battle. And you know, normally I'm not for this spice of life stuff, but after all the trauma we went through with this series, I'm just here for all of it. And another thing I want to talk about, for how low budget these anime games usually are, you could just feel that they put more effort into this as compared to other games in this genre. You could tell there was a little more money and a little more experience behind the development of this game. It's just as the years go on, you recognize the degradation of these games. I just feel like they put more effort into actually making a fun game back then. I feel like they just put less effort into these games, and as a consumer, that makes me sad. Another thing that hurt this game was that it was a ridiculously expensive game back in the day. I don't know how much it is now, but for its time, it was too expensive for what it was, and people just weren't trying to give it a chance, especially after the first one, which was basically this game but worse. I mean, they were really nickel and diming the Attack on Titan fandom, and why? Just because they added some Thunderspear DLC, some Kenny DLC. When I first tried to purchase a second copy so I could play with my homie, I started yelling at like Levi at those prices. Kenny! I mean, there was no real justification for the price at that time. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the game feels incomplete if you don't pick up the DLC. Yeah, they really did this game dirty. I did not see one advertisement for this game when it came out. So yeah, Attack on Titan just went down as another anime franchise with a subpar gaming catalog. Hopefully the new one will change that. Real quick, I also want to talk about the first Attack on Titan game. That's another reason this game didn't do so well. The first one was basically this game, but all around worse. And Bandai at the time had a poor habit of releasing a subpar anime game, fixing it, and then releasing it again. So basically this game got the Xenoverse 1, Xenoverse 2 treatment. And if you think about it, who even mentions Xenoverse 1? I think a lot of people erased that game from their existence. It was so incomplete. So you can only imagine how the first version of this game. A lot of people took one look at the sequel and thought this would be a Storm Connection scenario. So they just didn't give it a chance because they were burnt off the first game. But low-key, the ones of us who skipped the first game and then bought this one were like, damn, this is fire. They really outdid themselves with the sequel. But yeah, poor marketing decisions led to this game being another anime flop. And after that, Bandai never put any effort into anything again, and we all lived happily after. But hey, if only we existed in a different timeline where they actually just released this game first and we actually got a Shinobi Striker 2.